Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I don't know why. Every time I start the podcast, I'm like smiling, I'm grinning a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know. I just like doing it. It's fun. This is Ace Trader Podcast, episode 11. We're officially in double digits. We had episode 10 last week, and now we're on episode 11. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. My name is Jaws, or Jack. It's up to you. Or Rose, or Necro on the other side. There we go. There's a bit of a small break recently, of course, Rose, which we'll talk about a little bit later, more in detail. But Worlds in London. If only I was back in the goddamn UK by that time, but I was not. I was stuck in LA, dying of the heat. It sucked, but we'll recap that in just a moment. But yeah, there's a lot of things to kind of go through today, and a lot of interesting topics, I want to say. But yeah, I guess we'll get kind of right into this. God, I'm like also confused too, because I'm like, okay, what do I press? I feel like I've not done this in years, but okay.
We'll get there. We'll get through it. It'll be okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a little bit tired still. I don't know. Okay, so the Pokemon TCG company has released their holiday calendar, and they haven't done one of these in a long time. And it comes out on the 1st of September, or you can buy it on the 1st of September, which is, by the way, ungodly early for Christmas stuff. But it makes sense why you want to release it a little bit early, because it is Pokemon. You want to get the product out there before December starts, so a little bit early. But yeah, I thought this would be a cool topic to touch on, because they've not done one of these in ages.
I actually can't remember the last time I've seen an advent calendar like this, but I really love the concept. I think that especially when you look at how popular the TCG has gotten, and like this is another kind of small subset of cards that you can collect that will be special in a way with like the stamps and just kind of like the smaller set to collect. This is a money maker, that's for sure.
A money printer. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, the Pokemon Company does a very good job at printing money. I don't think they print Pokemon cards. They just print actual dollar bills. And
I
yeah, I
think
mean,
so.
it looks great for the audio listeners too. I know we have a few listeners on Spotify. The Pokemon cards that are in the Advent calendar, they have this giant snowflake in the right hand corner of the picture frame. There's a Pokeball in the middle, and then all the little splines kind of
Yep.
coming out. And they are reprint cards from the Sword and Shield era, so it's pretty sweet. And there's a couple of coins too, which are going to be in the Advent calendar.
I hope that they're giant coins too, because there's been that trend recently with some of those TCG boxes where the coins are just massive, and
Oh
I
yeah,
I love the idea of showing up to like a in-person tournament, just like flipping a giant coin.
just
It
knocking
makes the
everything
effect
over on the
more
table.
dramatic. Yeah, why not?
The coins feature Delibird and the Ice Block Penguin.
That's cute.
I've never
Ice
known down to
cube,
Ice Q, dude. My
ice cube.
Ice Q accent, British accent, I will say, does not work with some of the pronunciations of Pokemon. I swear to God.
Which is funny because Ice Cube is a Galar Pokemon, and I feel like you might have a leg up in that department.
True,
You
true.
know?
So I think that's just more an excuse on my half that I just cannot speak properly. It is at 8:30 a.m. in the morning right now.
It is
Although I
actually
do
so
get up at
early
5:30.
for you.
Being Rose just discussed this. I get up ungodly early, but I'm
I don't know
still
how
like
you do
tired
that.
still. I don't know.
I don't know
But
how you do that.
like you said, Rose, they have not done this in a long time, and I'm just kind of showing the audience right now of like when they did it last, which is in the Diamond and Pearl era. There's a Glaceon card from that Advent calendar in Diamond and Pearl, and I believe that's from Majestic Dawn. I feel like I'm pretty good with set symbols personally. In fact, what I will say right now, Rose,
Right.
we have got to do a tier list on set symbols, and we've also got to do a set symbol guessing game, which I think will be kind of fun too.
Oh,
It
that
just
would be
came into
super
my head. I
fun.
think that'd be kind of fun, like a tier list of set symbols, because there are a lot of bangers out there.
I'm happy to report you are right. If you're looking at the Glaceon, that is
Ooh,
from Majestic Dawn. Nice job.
easy. I don't know. I just have such a good memory of like the set symbols. It's kind of stupid, even for sets that I don't like collect that much. Diamond and Pearl for myself is like, yeah, I've got a few cards here and there, but it's more like gens 1 to 3, base
Right.
to EX Power Keepers. Like those sets are my favorites. So I'm not gonna lie, quite surprised I got that. But yeah,
There you
weird
go.
memory for set symbols, but there you go. Yeah, so that's coming out on the 1st of December. And the content is 8 foil cards with the festive stamp, which includes 2 Pokemon V cards and a Pokemon V Max. So that's the
Mhm.
Calyrex Ice Rider card. 2 coins, 2 sticker sheets, a Dangler, which is just a Pikachu just
Like
giving like a flying
keychain?
kick, which is kind of cool. But it also contains like actual booster packs, which is quite cool. Just like Sword and Shield series booster packs, whether that's base or whether that's a mixture. Don't know. They also doing the
Yeah, I'm
fun
not
packs
sure.
and a code for the TCG Live. So you honestly you get quite a lot in there. 6 booster packs too. That's kind of nice.
That sounds really fun. Yeah, I would love to know if it's like, yeah, a mixture. I feel like that's what they've been doing for a lot of these newer products that have come out that have an assortment of Sword and Shield era packs. So I would hope that it would be maybe some of the newer stuff. It'd be neat if also, because I don't know if like it's a pre-order on September 1st or whatever, but if it included the newer set too, Silver Tempest, that might be really neat to see.
That would be really cool. I mean,
Because if
it
it's
does
meant
release on
for
1st September.
December,
It
right?
lines up pretty well. So they're kind of already producing those packs and cards. I guess it depends when they started production on these and I guess started production on Silver Tempest, but it does line up
Yeah.
pretty well. Yeah, so I just looked at it here. Obviously, all this information courtesy of Poker Beach. Really appreciate
Hmm.
the work that everybody does on there. Was 2008 was the last time they did some of this calendar. So it's been a long time, a long time, 15
So
years
hot.
almost, 14 years. So October 2008 was the last time they did this kind of snowflake stamp calendar collection of cards. So that's pretty cool. Speaking of Silver Tempest Rose, one of my I think most hype sets for myself coming out very soon. They've released their pack art, also the Elite Trainer Box art, which we were talking about a little while ago with the Alolan Eevee. No,
Hmm.
Vulpix. No, not Alolan Eevee. Vulpix.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I that was kind of like an interesting release as well. We were talking about how that was so early. Like I've never
Yeah,
seen a set get released as early as this. Like we haven't even received Lost Origin yet. Pre-orders have gone through, pre-releases for this set have started to happen in card shops across the country, but it's not out. It won't be out for until September 9th, but we still know what the next set is. That's just kind of
it's
wild to me on the
it feels
timeline.
like a Japanese release timeline where they have because they have so many more
Yeah.
sets than we do. It's like okay, here's the next 2 sets that are coming out, and now you can just kind of pre-order them because. It was funny because yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, we were talking about this the other week because I pre-ordered Lost Origin on the Pokemon Center for the an ETB and one of those 6 booster bundles, and now I have 2 pre-orders for 2 different sets. It feels weird because I've also got the pre-order in for Silver Tempest, exactly the
Yeah,
same thing,
same.
the ETB and the booster bundle. It does feel incredibly odd, and I wonder if this is because I don't know. I'd have to go check the dates. But is it because a long period where sets weren't coming out, so they're kind of cramming everything at the very end of the year, or is this because maybe they pushed up some of the Scarlet and Violet stuff, and they're like, oh god, we still need to release some English sets, so we're going to have to put out Silver Tempest ASAP. And what we'll get into in a minute too is also another Sword and Shield set, but it's a point 0.5 set, which we'll take a brief look in a moment. But there are like 3 sets, and this is just after
Yeah.
Pokemon Go too, like 3 sets back to back to back, which is very very rapid for the West at least.
Yeah, it is a lot. I think that this is not unexpected at a certain point. Like, as we get towards the end of a generation, maybe they try to come out with sets a little bit more frequently. But we also look at how they do special holiday sets. And so, Pokemon Go this year kind of took the place of like a Champion's Path or a
Yeah,
Shining Fates from previous years. And maybe 12.5 will also be something like that, but I'm not sure. Actually, I
yeah,
haven't gotten a chance to look at it yet. So.
I have no idea. Like, there's a speculative set list which we'll look at in a minute. But yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of stuff coming out because then also there's the McDonald's promo that's happening right now in the states with the Happy Meals again. So
Which is
yeah,
so cool, by the way.
there's a lot of
Just
shit.
real quick, because I actually did go get a Happy Meal for the purpose of having a Pikachu Happy Meal box, and also what was
They are
inside.
pretty awesome.
Pretty great. But the Happy Meal is actually really cool because it's supposed to be an introductory way for kids to get involved in the TCG. So the Happy Meal toy includes a booster pack with 4 cards in it. One of them is hollow, and then the other part of this kit is you get a spinner, and then you also get an instruction booklet on how to play and a coin,
Okay.
a little cardboard coin. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of use what information is on the card to battle against each other. So basically, you and your friend each pick a card. You flip a coin to see whether you want the highest or the lowest, and then you spin the spinner to get a category. And so maybe the category is HP, or it's height,
Oh,
or
okay.
it's the number at the bottom of the card. And so you play
Oh,
high low. It's really fun. I enjoyed it.
that's a
So
really interesting way of doing things, actually.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
I thought it was
selecting the
really
category on the
cool.
card, and then, yeah, I mean, even the basic Pokemon can win it out, I suppose, or like the pre-evolutions. That's pretty neat. I'm
Yeah,
planning to go get one today, or like a couple, to open some packs. But yeah, I'm
do
kind
it.
of pumped for it. I'm not gonna lie. The McDonald's Pokemon set does look kind of neat. But yeah, back to Silver Tempest. Like I said, it does seem very soon, but that's fair. If you just want to kind of pump out the product just to get them out of the way because Scarlet and Violet's around the corner, fair play. I will say it
True.
looks like one of my favorite sets coming up in recent times. I guess there's not a full set list out for it just yet because Lost Origin's not even out. So in another episode, maybe the next one will kind of go over the speculative list and look from there. But yeah, you can pre-order the ETBs on the Pokemon Center website already, and they come with the additional 2 packs like they normally do, and a couple of extra bits if you get the Pokemon Center exclusive one. So yeah, Alolan and Vulpix on the
Yeah.
cover looks pretty cool. Looks pretty sweet, and Lugia too. Hell yeah, I'm
Oh yeah.
down. Okay, yeah. Speaking of like speculative sets, like I said, there was a 12.5 set, which we will look at quickly. Some of the artwork because this one seems out of left field. I mean, having a subset after the last set, not the most uncommon thing in the world, but looking at the speculative stuff, I'm like, how is this? Like, what even is this?
So I gotta say, this kind of like when I look at this, it reminds me again of a holiday set that we would have received. It's just not as flashy, maybe, but it also looks kind of like the Galar revival of Gym Heroes or Gym Challenge.
Oh,
Like, if you look at some of
ooh,
the trainer cards, these are all of the like trainers and gym leaders that you would encounter in Galar, they all have their signature on them, which I think is really neat. And then if you look at the emblem that is on some of these cards that are featured in the set, it says Pokemon Card Gym. It has a stamp. And so now this makes me think like, okay, well, we know that B has a Riolu and a Lucario, so maybe this is like that those are the cards that will be featured because they were B's Pokemon. And then you look at like the Dubwool and the Wooloo, which have cannon for Hop. I think there's a chart. I don't see it, but there's probably going to be a Charizard in this set if Leon is here.
yep.
So, like, because this isn't even everything, and it might not even be everything. But the Duraludon too, that was one of Raihan's Pokemon.
It does. I'm kind of hoping they take it that way, and I'm
That would be
hoping
so
they
cool.
do a like a not a complete remake of like Gym Heroes Gym Challenge, but just like
Like a nod
X
to it.
X's Pokemon, yeah, like a nod to it. Maybe have the trainer in the card. Although we've gotten that a lot recently with the character rares, but this could be like maybe a next evolution of that.
Yeah.
I like the way the Pokemon Company have done it recently, where they are using some of these subsets to test. It feels like different things. I mean, we had that with the character rares and Cosmic Clip, although Cosmic Clips was not a subset, but it feels like they're very much testing the water with this kind of stuff. So maybe we'll see some crazy variations of cards here. I did notice one, which was the Cora Cora Eevee promo, which is in the speculative
Yes,
list
I
here
saw
too, which
that.
is quite interesting. Which to be fair, tends to happen if Japan gets promos. Sometimes we don't get all of them, but in the English one, we'll get them in a set, just like
Yeah.
as a whole. Because, yeah, the Japanese side of the Pokemon Company, at least, they do a lot of different activations with different magazines, TV shows, and stuff like that, which we don't really have over here. So they end up just kind of bundling them in. Yeah, I'm down for a kind of a gym set. 100%. Just
Would
X's
be cool.
Pokemon would be super awesome. Would be super cool. And it might follow on from what we've seen from Lost Origin and maybe Silver Tempest, because there's a Leon's Charizard character rare. It will just be called Charizard though. But there's still like, maybe that kind of evolves, or like a Gigantamax card version of that in this set with Leon on it too. We'll
Yeah.
have to wait and see. But this, from what I can see, this is courtesy of Justin Basil here. This seems like the last set in Sword and Shield. That is it.
I think so.
Before Scarlet and Violet.
Yep. It'll be this and Silver Tempest is like the final two. And then Scarlet and Violet, we're looking at, I think, one of the first set releases in March of 2023.
This it might actually be on here. Scarlet and Violet visual list. Okay, yeah, there's like there's a couple of cards for the visual list on Justin Basil for Scarlet and Violet, but that's just from the video that was teased the other day. So it's little screen caps of that. So there's a Magnezone there, because the card borders, I will say, look kind of sick for these new cards, or at least on the ones that have been teased already. And they're bringing back the regular EX, the lowercase EX, but it's like terrestrialized. So that's kind of cool. I'm always down. It's gonna be an interesting time, that is for sure. Speaking of interesting news, our boy Kadabra has been freed. Uri Geller hints that Kadabra is returning to TCG set. He did write to the company a couple of years, no, not a couple of years ago. Like, oh no, it was. I think it was in 2020 actually. This, if you guys don't know, it's worth reading the article. I'll link it down in the description, like I always do. But basically, in the early 2000s, Uri Geller, who's like an illusionist, who's famed for bending spoons, was convinced that Kadabra was like a ripoff of his act, because Abra doesn't have spoons. Kadabra has one. Alakazam has two, and he was convinced that Kadabra was ripping off his kind of copyright in his his persona. So he sued the Pokemon Company, and they came to an agreement that no Kadabra cards will be printed. And the last one we got, Kadabra-wise, was in Skyridge. And that's why also you don't really see Abra cards or Alakazam cards as much, even though they are quite popular Pokemon. Like, Alakazam's one of my favorite Pokemon, and you don't really see them that often anymore. We've got the Alakazam V of recent times, but that is about it. We're actually getting a Shining version. Radiant version of Alakazam, which is cool, which is very reminiscent of the Crystal Guardians, I believe. Alakazam Gold Star, which is also the shiny variant. So that's pretty sweet. Oh, there's actually a picture of him here. There you go. Is it Crystal Guardians? It was. Nice. Yeah, Alakazam Gold Star from Crystal Guardians, which is also another shiny version. So he's got that purpley hue to him.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that Alakazam is starting to get some love. I think it makes a lot of sense that with the whole issue with Uri Geller kind of blocking the use of Kadabra, like it, why make the Alakazam if you don't really have the ability to lead up to it, unless you want to go for something like a V and make it a basic, which feels a little bit weird in the TCG, given that Vs actually do provide your opponent a larger opportunity to take prize cards when they knock it out. But we're seeing that now with the Alolan Vulpix V, and we got the Alakazam V full art in Vivid Voltage. I think that's the one that you're referring to from the recent times.
Yes.
And I guess, the Radiant too. That might just be a basic. I'm not super sure.
It is a basic, yeah. It is a basic.
Okay, so we might not actually get Kadabra.
We might not, no. I mean, it really does depend on how the Japanese sets come out. This also might be too close to the point where they're like, we already have the set list. We can't really print a Kadabra right now. But I guess for the next iteration of cards that come out, maybe they'll just whack a Kadabra in there because they can now. This was after, I will mention this too, this was after a lot of people and like a lot of Pokemon fans kind of wrote to Uri Geller and were like, hey, you've done this thing 20 years ago. We've not really been able to enjoy Kadabra as a Pokemon. would you maybe look at dropping this kind of lawsuit or this block on the Pokemon Company printing Kadabra? And yeah, he admitted his mistake, and he was like, "Yep, it was kind of dumb from me because I've stopped people enjoying the card game to its fullest and having Kadabra in the TCG." And he kind of, I think, from what I saw on the letter, he kind of relates to it because he has kids and he would never really want. And he can now understand how like kids are with cards, I guess, or like, you know,
Yeah.
characters that they enjoy. So that's kind of cool. Another small thing too, he actually has a framed collection of Alakazams and a couple of Kadabra cards in his Yuri Geller museum, which is kind of crazy.
What?
I know, it's like a complete turnaround from like, oh, actually no, you can't use Kadabra, to having different like frames of the letters he's written to the Pokemon Company to say like, hey, you can absolutely make Kadabra cards again. It's it's wild.
That's so
It's very
wild to
strange.
me because, like, if you know that this Pokemon was made, or at least, like, you know, has like an amount of an homage to you, why would you be mad? I don't know. It's just like, I guess it's hard for me as to see it from his perspective, because if I ever had a nod in an official Pokemon card or canon or whatever, like, I'd probably, like, die screaming and crying and, like, throwing up, okay? And it feels so weird to see somebody that can take that and actually turn it into a bad thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, you were obviously in a very different shoes to him. He's like nothing to do with Pokemon, especially in the early 2000s, right? And like you are
I
very much, and
suppose.
like myself too, like very much like, whoa, if there
Yeah,
was a
I know the
reference
difference
to us in
there.
there, it would be like, oh my god, that's crazy. But to him at that time, I can imagine it was you guys are infringing on my copyright
Mm.
because the spoon bending is my thing, and why are you making this? And this was also around the time as well. It's worth remembering that Pokemon was kind of getting demonized by different groups of people. That's as far as I
Yes,
think I'll go
that
with that.
that
So
is a good point.
it, Pokemon at that point in time wasn't exactly looked on. Well, you know, the wider society, it's just like it's a card game, it's a monsters, and it's a kids TV show that they're just fighting each other or whatever. But like there were certain sections of people that just didn't like Pokemon at all and very much condemned it in a way. So
Right.
maybe that kind of played a role in the Uri Geller thing. Like I said, I will leave the link to this full article in the description. You guys can go read it for yourself, and you can go read these letters too that the Pokemon Company wrote to him, and he wrote to the Pokemon Company and stuff. But yeah, that is that was a very interesting bit of news that that cropped up over the last couple of weeks. So we might see Kadabra. It's going to be exciting.
Uh, let's hope so.
Right. We'll do, well, like I mentioned at the very start of the show, we have taken a little break, but that's because Rose went to Pokemon Worlds in London. Finally, events in London. Let's go. Events in the
I
UK.
know.
And yeah, I thought we'd just go over a small little recap.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Worlds in London was really great. It was kind of a long time coming, 3 years in the making. It was in Washington, D.C. at the very end of Worlds, where they always do the announcement of, like, "We'll see you in this location." And so when we all found out it was London, very exciting. Home of the Gala region, or at least where the Gala region in Sword and Shield is based off of. And so to get a chance to go to London and see some of these places that have been inspired in the game was really neat. But we also had 5 different games that awarded World Championship titles. It was the last one for Pokken Tournament, but we did induct Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite to the World Championship Hall of Fame. So that's been pretty fun. And there were a bunch of content creators there too. Jaws, I know you saw some of the content that, like, Leonhart was making, for example, but like Glitch City and V were there as Pokemon partners. They got flown out. I think Super Duper Danny and Real Breaking Nate also. It was great to hang out with some friends, but it was also great to see people just all enjoying Pokemon together. That's the best part.
Yeah, I did see, yeah, Leonhardt's stuff. I saw Super Duper Danny's stuff too, and Randolph Pokemon. I also follow him, and I saw that. That was, yeah, it looked really cool. I'm actually kind of jealous. I would have loved to have gone as
Next
even
time.
just a spectator next time. next time I
Yeah.
will go.
Come to
It,
Japan with us.
oh yeah, go to Japan. Oh my god, yes. I mean, as long as Japan doesn't have the quarantine period, I actually accidentally booked flights from Korea to Japan with a friend and was like, oh wait, we have to quarantine for 5 days. We actually can't do this trip, so we had to cancel the flight. Like I got a
Oh.
full refund, so I'm fine. But I was like, god damn it. But as soon as Japan opens up again and you don't have to quarantine, as long as you're vaccinated and stuff. So fingers crossed that's around the same time that Pokemon comes to Japan, because yeah, I would be down. The country's incredible and it's the home of Pokemon. Like that is where Pokemon was created, so it would be a sick time. What was the most surprising thing you saw at Worlds? Like you said, unfortunately, obviously Pokken, that was their last kind of tournament, but I did see a lot of support on like Pokemon Twitter, I suppose, for Pokken, so that was kind of nice. But yeah, what was your
Yeah.
like biggest surprise at Worlds?
I think the biggest surprise was some of the Pokemon choices actually that we saw. There was a Shadow Venusaur that made it to the grand finals of Pokemon Go. That was a really big surprise. I think a lot of people were expecting to see kind of the same meta Pokemon, Obstagoon, Trevenant, Registeel, and then all of a sudden this mega this Shadow Venusaur comes in, and that's actually really neat to see. Um, but then on top of that too, just I guess maybe how fast it flew by.
Oh
That's
yeah,
always surprising to
that's a
me.
classic. You go there on day one, you're like, man, I can't wait to spend, X amount of days here, a
I
few days, like four
know.
days, 5 days, or whatever, and then you're like, oh wait, it's over. What the hell? Wait,
The week
it's gone.
went by so
Please.
fast. Like
Yeah.
I did.
There was a pop up store too. If anybody didn't see some of the pictures in London, which looked crazy cool. Obviously, Pikachu was dressed up like a beefeater, which is like very like old like UK lore, if you will. So that was kind of cool. I actually really enjoyed that. I think a lot of London, I think, or like the United Kingdom, I guess, has a lot of like symbolism and like old style, like medieval things. So there's so much that you could kind of dress Pikachu up as, but like a Beefeater was like the perfect. He looked really colorful and cool, so that was really really awesome. Some of the content that I watched, Rose, and like you said before, with Leonhardt, he opened three first edition heavy packs,
Oh,
which is insane stuff. Like my heart would be going crazy. Obviously, Leonhardt has a godlike collection of cards, sealed packs, sealed
yes.
boxes, and stuff like that. So, but still, opening first edition packs is new, is like next level. I'm actually not going to spoil the pulls. I'll leave the link in the description below to go watch that video. But definitely worth a watch. It's not every day nowadays, at least, you get to see first edition packs, especially heavy ones, opened like live on camera. Like that's I do remember like a long time ago, Rose, when I first like really started to get back into things, and I'm not even going to quote the prices because it will make people's eyes water. But like, I picked up
Yeah.
some like vintage stuff for not 5 digits the way it is now, but like 4 digits or like 3 digits, and you're like,
I know.
holy moly, how has stuff gotten so crazy? A lot of the stuff obviously just gets opened. I myself have opened vintage products too, like, and now you look at the prices, you're like, oh my god. But you do it for the hobby and you do it for the kind of love of the game. But first
Absolutely.
edition packs at that time were like way more commonly opened, even base set stuff. And nowadays, it's such a rarity to see that.
Yes. Well, I mean the amount of product is just dwindling as well. So it was really special though that Leonhardt could kind of commemorate this whole world championship experience with doing this. And if I remember it correctly, he did this with other people around as well.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just him. I think we had a creator desk that was sitting right on the same level as the casting desks. So you could go over there, reserve a time slot, and then open up stuff, or like, and the general public could be there to like watch you also. And because Lee is such a prominent creator, like every time he was over at that desk creating content, there was a very large
Yeah.
crowd.
Well, it's not every day you get to see, most of the people stuck at home watching YouTube videos, and it's like, oh wow, I actually get to see this live. That's kind of crazy. Like,
Pretty
especially opening
cool.
some sick product. It's pretty awesome. So I'm really hoping that Worlds in Japan ends up doing the same thing, or like the event in Japan does the same thing, it would be exceptional. And I hope to God that I am available, because I will, even if it's just as a spectator, I'm more than willing to come over, hang out. Japan's an incredible country, and yeah, to a Pokemon, we've been my first Pokemon event too, so that'll be
What
equally
a
as
great
cool.
one.
There was a lot of stuff revealed at Pokemon Worlds. There was the new
God, yeah.
cards, lowercase EX terrestrialization cards coming out in the new TCG. But one of the other reveals was a new Pokemon that they continue to look like motorbikes,
Yes.
which is a theme at this point, and a few new items too. So I thought we'd take a quick look. Cyclizar,
Cyclizer? I don't
Cyclizer.
know.
Yeah, I guess it
Like
depends where you're
lizard?
from. Yeah,
Yeah.
lizard,
So
cyclizer. Yeah, one
I
of the two.
so it looks to me like this is kind of taking a page out of like the Cub Fu into like Urshifu Rapid Strike, Urshifu Single Strike that we got in Isle of Armor. Because this Pokemon looks like it is a basic form for Miraidon and
Yep.
Koraidon. The wheel is there.
The
Like,
wheel,
it
and they're like
either of them.
dragon looking, and obviously it's dragon and normal type. Like
Definitely a
it's
precursor.
it seems to be the way or the wave right now of doing that with the legendaries. But like box art legendaries, I think that's the first time that's ever been done, where they have a precursor to the actual legendary Pokemon itself, which is a little bit
Yes.
insane. Again, just try new stuff. You kind of love to see it. New items, new moves too were revealed. Mirror Herb sounds quite interesting. That seems
Mhm.
like it would be a little crazy when comboed with things. For the audio listeners out there, the Mirror Herb, it copies an opponent's stat increases when consumed, which seems insane, or can be insane. I'm just having flashbacks to or to like 4x speed colossal with like a billion other stats. Like, Jesus, you send something out and it
Yeah.
gets the boost, you're like, whoa, okay, I'm down. Like, I can
Yep.
match that now.
So I think that's the perfect point. I mean, Colossal is one of the Pokemon that was featured in this like new information announcement for Scarlet and Violet, and so immediately you think about the steam engine boost because what you used to see in VGC is Colossal would Gigantamax. You would have something with a priority super effective attack like Aqua Jet because you need to hit the Colossal with a fire or a water type attack to get the steam engine boost. So you get the boost up to +6 speed, and it also activates a weakness policy because you got hit by a super effective attack. So that also gives you +2 attack, special attack. So yeah, if that all happens in a row, then the mirror herb activates on the other side.
It
You
would
get
be
to
so
copy
silly.
all of that. Yep, that's how that's supposed to work.
Yeah. It looks ridiculous. Like, it could be kind of crazy. I'm just skimming through the pictures now, but I can't wait to see some videos on using Mirror Herb and just a ridiculous effect. There's also Covert
Oh
Cloak.
yeah.
Hooded Cloak conceals the holder, protecting it from additional effects of moves. Loaded
Mhm.
Dice, another item, makes multi-strike moves more likely to hit more times, which is pretty interesting. We don't see that many multi-strike moves here and there, I suppose, but hey, kind of buffing those moves we don't see as often. Maybe we'll see some new moves that hit like crazy amount of times, which would be kind of cool.
Uh, it would be cool. Yeah, I think the first thing that people thought about were maybe some of those moves that have any range of like 2 to 5 hits, like Bullet Seed.
Oh
But
yeah.
one that actually came to my mind was Triple Axle. So that's one of the new Isle of
Oh
Armor meteor
yes.
moves. That
Triple
yeah,
Axel.
if every subsequent hit, it becomes a lower chance of being able to get it because I think it's already a 90% accurate move. And so yeah, as you try to get multiple hits in, it gets less and less, but also as you get an additional hit in, the move becomes more powerful. So if you can guarantee yourself 3 hits every single time with a loaded dice,
That
that
would be a
might be
little
pretty
ridiculous.
good. Yeah.
Luckily, we get a lot of these screenshots here of Pokemon using those exact moves. We have Colossal a second ago, which is using Steam Engine, but a
Oh,
Brilliant
yeah.
using Bullet Seed, which is quite neat. And then the Mirror Herb, although there's no like animation to it right now. although not animation to it, but in these screenshots at least there's no animation to it. So that seems kind of cool. I'm super down. I know I watched a Wolfie video the other day, and he was saying like, Tyranitar might be pretty OP with the whole type changes thing, and funnily enough, they show a Tyranitar wherever it is. There
Yep.
we go. Yeah, so that'd be kind of fun. Terastrizing a
Kinda cool.
Tyranitar.
Oh,
Don't mind
no.
that at all. One of my favorite Pokemon, so we'll take that. We'll take that. So that's pretty epic.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of a nod as well to, like, the whole, like, Gourgeist trick or treat strat we used to see, where, like, you could trick or treat the ghost typing onto Tyranitar, and so it takes away its fighting weakness, so you could see the Gallade trying to go for, the close combat, and Tyranitar is like, "Ha ha!
Not effective.
No!"
Boom. Yeah, it
So,
also kind of begs the question on like how the terrestrialization ends up working. Like, can you only do one type per Pokemon, or is it like, can you do like multiple? Like, oh, you can be
I
literally
think
everything,
it's
and then
1.
it's
No,
right.
it's 1 and it overrides your current typing,
Yeah, so
is what
the
we have
first
figured out.
typing, I suppose. Yeah, so in Tyranitar, yeah, it would override the first one. That does make sense. But
It
then can
overrides
you?
both. No,
Oh,
he
both.
becomes
So
just
it.
ghost
Oh,
type.
just pure ghost. Okay,
Yeah,
I see. That makes a lot more sense. And can you terrestrialize Tyranitar into a water type, or is it just specifically
I think
ghost for
so.
him?
I think it could
It's
be
anything.
anything. I
Yeah.
think we have, at least according to the website, they have stated that you can all 18 types are up for
Yeah.
grabs. So maybe you
Okay.
get a same type attack bonus boost, or you use it very defensively and you can do something like Ghost type Tyranitar.
Just
Woo!
it opens up so many doors. Like it is
Does.
it's gonna be insane. People trying to figure this out, it's gonna take people months, I reckon, to like figure out what the like, or like little small broken things. For example, Shedinja, there's no way Shedinja's in the game.
Oh,
There's
let's
just
hope not. I
there's
can't. I
no way Shedinja's in the game. Because like what you just
uh,
remove, like it's got a fair few double effective weaknesses. Obviously, with Wonder Guard, you can only be hit by those crit moves, or not the crit moves, sorry, the super effective moves. So
right.
like giving him something else ran, like oh my god, I
Everybody's
if
been thinking about the electric Terra type Shedinja holding an air balloon.
yeah, I
If
mean
you're holding an air balloon, then you can't get hit by the only super effective weakness that electric types have, which is
there's no
ground.
way. It just creates too many complications. There's just no way Shedinja's in the game. I
I
think,
don't think it can
especially
be.
with the obviously the way Pokemon Company have taken it recently. We're not gonna have every Pokemon. We're gonna release some DLCs, which will add more. But like, there is no they did the terrestrialization, and someone went Shedinja. We cannot have them. No,
Nope.
it's
Can't do it.
it would create too many ridiculous moments. Or like if they did have Shedinja, I guess every tournament would just permaban Shedinja. Um, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I
Yeah.
suppose that's gonna be that's gonna be up in the air till the game comes out. But yeah, I'm excited to see the actual full list of new Pokemon too. That'll be quite exciting. But it's gonna be a slow trickle of information, I can imagine. Right. Final thing to round out the day. I didn't even show you this yet. Pokemon card of the week. Pokemon card of
Ooh.
the week. I thought we'd do Skyridge Kadabra. Wow, my camera's very low for this, so I'm just floating past.
Yay!
Skyridge Kadabra, the last Kadabra card that was released. Now, Skyridge,
Oh, cute.
probably a lot older as a set than some of our listeners and viewers. It came out in 2003. It was like the e-reader series. That's why it's that weird kind of like pixelated
Ah,
mess at the bottom of the cards, because you used to be able to scan them with an e-reader on your Game Boy
that's
Advance.
right. Oh
Yeah,
my god, that's right.
it was a wild time to be a
Ah,
gamer back then, and yeah. So I thought I'd give it to Kadabra because he's coming
good
back.
shout.
He's back in full strength. Maybe we'll see. Maybe Silver Tempest, but probably not. But yeah, Kadabra from Skyridge, and a very different art style too. Rose, we've had a lot of art styles over the years, but a lot of the older cards sometimes just flat like JPEG looking out on the card is sometimes the most adorable. And I thought this is kind of cool.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the South Park animation style, where, like, they
Oh,
use,
okay.
like, the card, like, the construction paper. I don't know, that's what, like, sticks out to me about it. I love
I
it.
I can see that. I can
I
see
just
that.
it does look like it.
It is crazy to think we've gone from like this kind of style of artwork, which wasn't on every single card, to be fair. There were a lot of like 3D renderings, but this is more of like a simplified style to a lot of the V cards now that are done by 5-band graphics and like proper 3D models coming out the cards. And sometimes, you know, they're cool, but simplicity sometimes wins it out overall, which is
It's true.
kind of neat. So yeah, Kadabra from Skyridge, that is your Pokemon card of the week. And with that, that is going to be it for episode 11. Episode 12 will probably end up covering the Silver Tempest set that comes out later this year, I guess. And we've also got Lost Origin. We will do a pack battle of Lost
Oh
Origin.
yeah.
We're also going to be in Toronto together for the Overwatch League LAN, so that should be kind of fun. Maybe we'll film some content there. We'll see.
For
We'll
sure.
see what goes down. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Really appreciate you all, and goodbye.
Bye.